Good afternoon, evening, whatever. Welcome to today's episode of the Witchery, where we are picking up in Final Fantasy XIV Update 5.3 storyline. Yeah, because we had just finished the 5.2.
Yeah, the end of 5.2.
Yeah. That's token time.
Token time.
There we are. Pull up the game. Make sure that it's pulled up before I switch.
Yeah.
Still upset at myself over that. There we go. Okay. Check the multi. Multi is good. Of course, it hasn't changed yet, so. But that could be different later this week.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh yeah, I was wanting to check the game audio after those adjustments. Let's see, yeah. See if I can bring up the audio real quick. Bring up the audio real quick. Of course, then fall into a queue.
Yeah.
Of course, then fall into a queue.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like it is. It kind of sounds like it is. Can't really tell with the login screen though. The music's so quiet to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. Can't really tell with the login screen though. The music's so quiet to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. Can't really tell with the login screen though. The music's so quiet. This is picking up and looping the audio here. 1 second. Picking up and looping the audio here. 1 second. Picking up and looping the audio. Okay. Yep, we're good. Okay. Yep, we're good. So I believe it's coming through properly. Yep, we're good. So I believe it's coming through properly. So I believe it's coming through properly.
Seems like it. Oh.
Alright.
Seems like it.
Alright. Let's close that down. Alright. So that means that our little adjustment actually worked. Huzzah. Now then, I think it was the Doorman of the Pendants had the next quest, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm seeing a thing down there. Looks
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. If I can load, I'll actually get over there. Start streaming and the nose itch and tickle begins. That is so annoying. It's got to be some psychosomatic thing. Like, sitting here knowing, it's probably not best to be scratching one's nose on camera, but...
Yeah, well, kind of seems like it. So, you should stop.
Stop caring and just scratch my nose?
Yeah.
There. Okay, see nose? We can scratch. Cut out that stuff now. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay.
I also am going to do this, not knowing what we're going to be doing here, but... Thunk. Okay. In the name of the light. Should I go first, or do you want to?
You can.
Okay.
My contacts are still adjusting.
Fair enough. Player. Will you be venturing forth today? Do be sure to take care if so. Though they say the star shower was harmless, one can never be too careful. But I concede it is not for me to tell the Warrior of Darkness how to look after himself. Old habits, you understand. Player. How very opportune. Greetings, my friend. Do you perchance have a moment to spare? No, absolutely not.
It's like I'm looking over for permission.
Yeah, really. Wonderful, wonderful. I wanted to thank you, you see, for revealing to us the truth about the Warriors of Light. After all these years, your tales set the record straight. Finally, the people see them as the great heroes they were. Or the great hero he is in the case of Ardbert. You, too, were surprised to see him, I think. Yeah, because it's not him, so... At the time, I was not certain what to make of it, but I could see the effect his words had on those around me, and then the stars rained down from the sky, and, well, you know the rest. Yeah, I know more than you. When the commotion died down, you were nowhere to be seen, but I was determined to express my gratitude, and so here I am. Thank you, player, for giving voice to the truth and restoring the Warriors of Light to their rightful place in history. Should you perhaps wish to have your account of these matters committed to writing, I would be more than willing to serve as your scribe. Indeed, if there is anything I can do to help, anything at all, you need only say the word, okay? Do research up because this person's fake.
Guess you forgot what he looked like.
Yeah, I know, right? And then there's those two.
That die. Yeah. Yeah.
What can you tell me about the Warriors of Light? I beg your pardon, you wish to ask me about the Warriors of Light? Forgive me, but I dare say you already know more about them than any living soul, save for Ardbert himself, of course. Unless you're referring to the Warriors of Light more broadly. If so, I may yet be able to assist you in some small way. Excellent. I shall return to the cabinet at once and look up the relevant texts. Pray join me at your earliest convenience. You go off to do a chore for me, and then you want... whatever. No rest for the righteous, it would seem. Who's righteous?
You.
Do not let me keep you, sir. I bid you a pleasant day.
But I want to sleep.
But it's night. Isn't it? Isn't it game time and it's night? Yeah.
That guy's doing the work. Why can't I just sleep?
It's night outside, not day. What the hell?
Good day. Good day.
A cabinet of curiosity.
I said good day.
Good day, damn you! Be gone! Up to the top. Okay. Ah, Blair. Excellent timing. I have but this moment finished gathering the materials for our lesson. It's another damn picture book, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As a great many works make reference to the Warriors of Light, I shall, with your permission, focus only upon the details that seem most relevant.
Picture book.
Okay.
Picture book. Picture book. All the children are here for the picture book.
God damn it. The Warriors of Light, you say? Forgive us, but we couldn't help overhearing, despite the fact that we were far away and...
They're just stalking around the corner.
We've been out keeping a watch over the Crystarium, but it appears to be business as usual. So I thought I'd spend some time brushing up on my knowledge of familiars, and Alphanode volunteered to help. I actually came on a different errand, but I'd be interested in hearing about the Warriors of Light as well. May I join? No, you may not. Leave. Never return. Of course. The more the merrier. Not necessarily true. If you would care to find a table below, I shall be down with the books in a moment. Fall down the stairs and break your neck?
No. Not yet.
Take the shortcut and jump over the side and break both your legs?
No.
Fine. Were one to pore over the annals of Rantic history, one would note the comparatively frequent references to individuals hailed as Warriors of Light. Ardbert and his comrades require no introduction, but many others bore the epithet long before them. To name a few, there was Tulthwail, legendary first king of Lakeland. Fist King? What the? Legendary Fist King.
Tell me more.
Rodfert and Salard, the fabled Drawn and Galgent duo of Vobert. And no list of Rantic heroes would be complete without the Archmage Tiuna of Ronka. In older texts, she too was called a Warrior of Light. It did surprise me how ready people were to forget the negative associations of the title, but it makes sense if it's been around for centuries. Verily, in ages past... Verily? Verily! It was simply a synonym for hero. In the wake of the flood, however, light came to be regarded with fear, the title used not to exalt but to revile. A far cry from its beginnings. And you're about to speak again. All right. Set the glass down, damn you. This, my friends, is Nervrant's oldest epic. Original tale of the struggle between good and evil. In a time when all lay shrouded in darkness, a prophesied hero rose to deliver the world from its doom. Fighting in the name of the light, the hero styled himself its foot soldier. I gotta get used to this reading aloud thing. This is still just very strange to me.
Yeah.
And thus did he come to be known as the Warrior of Light. Curiously, in the centuries that followed, other heroes appeared who claimed the selfsame epithet, despite sharing no discernible connection with their predecessors. And in time, Warrior of Light came to be a name accorded to all men and women of uncommon skill and valor. Right. Oh well, the plot thickens. As you know, the title of Warrior of Light is also used in the source. Though the manners in which individuals have earned it are many and varied, heroes have been honored thus since antiquity. Nor does the custom show any sign of dying out, as you can well attest. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? It surely can't be a coincidence. Indeed not. Let us imagine a man who has awakened to the echo and is able to hear Heidelin's voice. As she styles him, so too does he style himself a warrior of light. Of course, being blessed with the echo does not in itself make one a hero. And conversely, there will have been no few heroes who were not blessed with it. But such distinctions are immaterial to the masses, and over time they came to use the title Warrior of Light and the word hero interchangeably. Sounds about right. It would be interesting to see if the theory holds true in the other worlds, if crossing the rift were that easy. Okay, Just top.
Yeah.
Just top choice for everything, as always.
I was thinking I was special.
Ellen did call me the Warrior of Light. A Warrior of Light.
No, I'm the...
She did? I've never heard her voice myself. But I can feel her presence, perhaps through Minfilia. At any rate, assuming all of this is true, and there's a common thread behind the epithet, I doubt the Ascians will have been amused. To have the world at large associate light, and by extension Heidelin, with good must have been added insult to injury. Ahem. While this discussion is undeniably fascinating, I wonder, should I be privy to it? Mayhap it would be better if I excused myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck off. Go away. Go. Oh, no need for that, my friend. Pray, accept our apologies. Your lesson on the Warriors of Light has given us much to ponder. Oh, did someone say Warriors of Light? Why?
There's the death that we needed. Oh. Thought it was down the stairs or something.
Not quite dead. Ricky Tio, are you alright? Ricky Tio?
Uh-huh.
My precious tomes. Sigh. Did I not say that you must take care in the cabinet? Yes, berate the child. Give it a lesson. You too, Arkil, Airwell. Arkil?
Arky.
We're sorry, Master Morin. Aren't you? No, you're thinking of someone else. Go fuck off. Nope, not the Warrior of Darkness. Nope. You're all delusional. My name's Ricky Tio, and I want to help everyone. Well, you can't. Please tell me what I have to do to be a hero, to be a warrior of light.
Don't.
Grow up and then don't be? Be a warrior of gray. You know, neutral. That'd be much better.
So what do I say?
Apparently we're about to find out.
Okay.
So, I want to be a warrior of light, but not one that fights with a sword and all that. No, I want to be the kind that fights with potions and heals people. An apothecary. And I'm going to help everyone in Crystarium. No, in all of Norvrant. When I told Arkhill and Irwell this, they said that the cabinet should have lots of tomes about potions. But this place is so big, and we don't have even the faintest idea of where to begin searching. At this rate, I'm not going to get anywhere. If one knew where to look, one should indeed be able to find treatises on potions here. Even so, I fear that they may prove a little difficult for one so young, but... Esteemed warrior of darkness, go fuck yourself, Alphanode.
Okay.
Perhaps you might accompany young Ricky Tio to Spadrix? Was that how we came up to decided to pronounce that? Spagirix?
Yeah, probably.
Spagirix?
Spaggies. Just call it the Spaggies.
Rather than through tomes, I believe she stands to learn more from observing the Kyurgens at their work. Sounds like a plan. And it seems we've finished here, so we'll come with you. Why would you want... what? Why?
I don't have time for this.
As though we have any choice in the matter. I'll have you know, I'm really fast. You're gonna be the rotten egg. Okay, I'll just teleport there. And it was the Docile Gate.
Bye, book guy.
How are your eyes?
I'll try. Well now, to what do I owe the pleasure of so many bright-eyed visitors? What? Is that the way of it, sweetie? You wish to learn about medicine? That's right. I want to become a warrior of light who uses potions to help people all over the world. That's a very noble endeavor, and you aren't alone in it. No few at our infirmary yearn to venture forth as warrior of light. But ultimately, they have all decided not to pursue that dream. Huh? Why? Because the people here need them to, sweetie. The guards who place themselves in harm's way to keep us safe, the artisans who toil tirelessly that we might sustain our way of life, and younglings like you, who are the future of the Crystarium. What? They couldn't simply abandon them, you see, and so, difficult though it was, they made the decision to remain. Then does that mean my dream isn't any good? Oh, sweetie, yours is a wonderful dream, and it would be my pleasure to help you to pursue it. If we all work hard, the day will come when our Kyurgens? Yeah. Kyurgens. We all set forth to aid somebody as we strive toward that day. I hope that we can rely upon you as well, though I must warn you, ours is not an easy path. No, you must work very, very hard. Kyurgens. It's not, or it's not. It isn't afraid of hard work. I'll become the best apothecary ever. Hee, that's a spirit. Without further ado, then, may I entrust you with the task? I have placed an order at Sweet Sieve for a potion ingredient, and I would like you to go and collect it. Oh, an ingredient. Leave it to me, miss. My, such an abundance of energy. Though I can't help wonder if she'll be alright by herself. My apologies, but would you mind accompanying her? When you arrive at Sweet Sieve, speak with a woman named Gracine, and she will point you in the right direction. Yeah, my eyes are still kind of blurry. I shall join you. As the one who suggested this course to Rikitio, I would assist in her first steps.
Okay, you do it alone then. One person's enough for this, right?
No, we all have to go. And what about the two of you? Are you coming along too? Well, we do want to become warriors of light, just not the same kind as Riki. So we'll wait for you here, warrior of darkness. When you return, please teach us how to fight.
No.
In that case, Rin and I shall keep them company and take the opportunity to ask about their aspirations. Okay.
Why?
Because we're helping Ardbert.
What? Arbert's dead.
Ardbert.
He dead.
No, we're helping the other one. The fake one.
Elidibus?
Yeah.
Alright. At least, so long as we're on the same page here. That's what matters.
Mm.
I'm running.
You too.
We're chasing?
Mm-hmm.
If it isn't the Warrior of Darkness himself, may I assume you are with Master Alphaned? Right. Lest you wonder, Chesimiel's orders is for grapes. As busy as we have been of late, however, I regret to say that we didn't have the time to harvest them. So it was with apologies that I asked Master Alphanode and his young companion to help themselves to the fruits on the vines. Perhaps you could lend them a hand. If it's the undersized grapes you'll want to pick. They're too small for normal consumption, but suitable for making wine and medicine. Wine. I mean, we could talk to every NPC there is, but,
Nah.
It's mostly just color commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here too? We're picking little grapes. It's quite fun.
I bet.
Good for you. Wow, you've picked this many already? Amazing! 3 bunches is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I dare say we have enough between us. Shall we take them back to Chesimiel? Hee, I can't wait to see what she's going to do with them. Drink them. Tell me, Ricky, what made you want to become an apothecary and a warrior of light? Why, well, a while ago I fell sick. Really sick. My body was burning up, and I felt so weak I couldn't even get out of bed. Then a traveling apothecary came and gave me a potion to drink. It was the foulest thing I'd ever tasted, but it made me get better. She was so brave, the apothecary, I mean. She went around taking care of people, even when it was dangerous, and I decided I wanted to help people just like her. So I started brewing potions out of grass and giving them to my friends. But I didn't really know what I was doing, or if it was anything else I could do. Then, not long ago, a neighbor told me he was going to become a warrior of light and go traveling the world, helping people. And I thought, that's the same as what I want to do. I see. Out of curiosity, what did your neighbor do in the end? Thyler? I haven't seen him for a bit, so he must already be out there looking for people to help. Thyler, one of the guards awakened by the star shower.
He's dead, sweetie.
Thank you for sharing your tale with us, Ricky Tio. I myself took inspiration from one not unlike your traveling apothecary, and I hope her good example will spur you on to realize your dreams. But it will not be done in a day. Such lofty goals are reached through hard work and persistence, through countless little acts of heroism, like delivering the grapes to Chesamane. It would seem I have been laboring under a misapprehension. I had convinced myself that it was Elidibus who had sowed the desire to become warriors of light within the hearts of the people. But I see now that the impulse to aid their fellow man abided with them from the first. Elidibus did no more than give it a name. And as he so kindly proclaimed, we must return to our own world ere long. With the Exarch laboring tirelessly, I doubt not but that a way will be found. Yet I believe I speak for us all when I say I cannot leave in good conscience, not until we have dealt with Elidibus. This is no longer a strange and distant land, after all. Norvrant has become a home to us, and her people our own. Let us return to Spegrix. It wouldn't do to keep your admirers waiting. Oh, they can wait all they want. I'm not going to ever help them. They're on their own.
Don't you want to teach kids to fight?
No.
No.
To quote Layla's Dad, can't I just beat up the kids? What? I mean, you know.
No, you may not. Apparently.
Fine. So many short people here. What's up with that shit?
Hey. My thanks for your kind help, sweetie. We now have all the ingredients we require. From the grapes we shall make a vinegar, to which we will add the grass and a few other herbs to produce an invigorating syrup. Though it's unspeakably sour, it does wonders for the constitution. As part of our studies, I may just have to give Ricky Tio a little taste. Hee hee.
elf grass, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Heroic dreams.
Warrior of Darkness, if you finished helping Ricky, won't you show us some fighting? Not play fighting, but honest to God's fighting. We already have some enemies that you can deal with vampire bats. Huh? The guards say they've become a pest around the Crystarium of late. We tried to sneak outside to hunt them, but the guards caught us and sent us home. But they shouldn't mind if you're doing the fighting and we were just watching. The children told us as much while you were away, and in preparation, Jessamel kindly furnished us with some lures for the bats. While the creatures won't give you any sport, bear in mind that the younglings will be watching. That's to say, put in a good show. Yes? Right, let's head out at once. Everybody follow me. Yeah, I don't want to kill bats.
Why must we follow?
Alice, wait just a sigh. Come on then, children.
As though she's much older than them.
Mm-hmm. So, gate. Outside.
Yep.
Outside.
Can at least take a little bit of a lazy shortcut here. And just pop right out into the tessellation.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's here. Good. Let's get started, shall we? As their name suggests, vampire bats feed on blood, and originally being nocturnal creatures, they've grown more active with the return of night and become a nuisance. To draw them out, we'll use Chesame's lures, which work by exploiting their heat-seeking behavior. The bats are wont to nest under the eaves, so you are like to attract... My God, the writing on this. So you are like to attract more if you place the lures in your buildings. I have here 6 lures, 3 each for you and me. As proof of a successful kill, I want you to gather up their fangs. Whoever collects the most is the winner. Oh, you're hunting too? Yes, well, there's nothing like friendly competition to bring out the best player. What?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather I put it as your name here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Anyway, while we hunt the bats, the 2 of you are to stay with Rhine. She's really strong too, and will keep you safe. Without further ado, then, let the contest begin. Right. Alright. Looks like there's multiple choices. Okay, I see what it... Oh, you... Did you spawn? No, you didn't. Okay.
I didn't do anything.
I just saw a spawn. So instead of this one, going near to, we have 6 locations and 3 lures.
Yeah.
And if you follow what they say, then going near buildings is the better choice. So here's a closer to a building lure. God damn it. I'm not fighting their bats, I'm just gonna walk away with them.
Oh. Okay.
They chose to spawn them there, I'm taking them with me. That's what you get for being a rude ass that just couldn't wait.
Hmm.
The last one despawned on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to kill your stuff for you. I don't know. Because that's out. That's out. Yeah, okay, it's this one and then the one at Fort Job. Or the other two. That are closer to the, buildings, as it were. So then we have to go to Fort Job for the last one. I hate the itchy nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dumb competition, but if we're going to be forced to do it, let's win.
Okay.
At least you're getting credit too, so.
Yeah.
Gee, it's as though you had a tank with you or something. What's up with that? So, what was the point of all this, since the dumb kids weren't even around to observe? How did you see anything?
I saw the one over there.
Well fought, and children were hanging on your every move. As was I, to be honest, though I know the tally. Me, I see your fangs for a good measure. Zoomed. Apologies for the wait. My fangs, not a bad haul if I do say so myself. Five, six, seven. 7 fangs for LSA. Which means the victor goes to your name here. Who collected 9. Ah! Seems you found the better spots for the lures. That bah was a lot louder than I wanted it to be, but whatever. I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed, but you're still within reach. I'll get the better of you next time. Will you, though? Will you? So, children, you've now seen the Warrior of Darkness in action. What are your impressions? She's incredible, miss. Sorry, I looked over at your screen. The bats were down before they knew it. Our guards are strong, but the Warrior of Darkness is much, much stronger. We want to be just like him. Good. If you're looking for an example to emulate, you may as well pick the best. I want you to remember how you feel when you watched Father. And train hard. Keep at it for long enough and you'll be strong too. Only though? If you don't mind telling us, when did you decide that you wanted to become Warriors of Light? Well, we were listening to everyone when Ardbert appeared. But I've wanted to be strong since before I came to the Crystarium. The Sin Eaters killed my father and my sister, see? And I promised myself I'd learn how to protect people one day. Like Ardbert said, this is our home. We're the ones who have to protect it. We're the ones who have to rise up as the new Warriors of Light. What about you, Arkil? Me? To be honest, I'm not sure what I want to do. But if my friends were in trouble, I know that I will want to help them. And I want to go on adventures with them, see the world together.
You'll die first.
That's a wonderful goal. You really think so? It's hard to explain, but it's something I feel when it's something I felt when I saw the star shower the other day. I felt as though there was something I'd lost, and that I had to go out there and find it. You're just crazy. Well, for the both of you, there's nothing for it but to train. When we return to the city, I'll teach you some exercises you can do by yourselves. And I'll go get a drink. Thanks for showing us your fighting skills, Warrior of Darkness. We'll never forget it.
I have a name, you know.
Your name here?
Yeah, that one.
I understand how Arkil feels. The star shower didn't awaken me to Hyland's voice, but that vision of the final days, of Amarat burning, it filled me with sadness in the very pit of my being. Things I once knew, people I once loved, promises I once made. It felt as though long-forgotten memories were dancing at the edge of my mind, but when I try to focus on them, they simply fade away. An effect of having a fractured soul, I shouldn't doubt. But lest you worry, I'm perfectly happy to remain fractured and have no intention of donning an Ascian mask. I just wish we knew what Elidibus was plotting. But look at this pair of incorrigible brooders. If we're going to stand around, lost in thought, we may as well do it back in the city. Rest assured, Ryan and I will take the children from here. Their heads will be in the clouds after meeting you, but we'll see to it their feet remain firmly planted on the ground. Wah, 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 wah. It's nothing, just a dizzy spell. It seems I tried a little too hard to beat you. I'm fine now, not to worry. I'll see you soon. Suspicious.
They're dying back home.
Probably. As you ponder Alice's words, you are taken by the urge to revisit the scene of that fateful meeting.
I do.
Apparently so. And once again, we have no choice in the matter. Is this one? Okay. Queuing up.
Yep.
you who called me here?
On behalf of the convocation, I bid you welcome to our order. At times you will stand with us, at times you will stand against us, all that you might steer mankind to the very star upon their true course. For yours is the seat of Elidibus, the emissary, and by this name shall every action be guided.
So you peered into my memories. No matter. You will have found little of import. But I see you intended to summon me here no more than I intended to come. The fault is mine. Such is the burden of hope. What fool would relinquish his weapon on the eve of battle? That which I do is no different from that which you have done so many times, Warrior of Darkness. I arm myself, I hone my skills, I make ready to vanquish my enemy. You. You who have murdered my brothers. Who have taken their selfless labors in service to the one true world and turned them to ash. I see you for what you are. You are death, and only in death shall you serve any purpose. The convocation charged me to steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. As Elidibus, it is my duty, and I shall see it done. I will strike you down. Destroy you body and soul. All else must wait. Ere long I will come for you, Warrior of Darkness. And I will save the world. One last matter. I bore witness to your final struggle with Emet-Selch. It seemed as if he saw something familiar in you. As if he mistook you for another. No. I recall not of whom he spoke. Mayhap I never knew you. Or mayhap it is another fragment lost.
Ah, I wasn't aware you already had a guest. If the conversation is constructive, I shall not intrude. But if you seek to stir up trouble, Elidibus, then I must insist you leave at once.
Interesting attack.
Though you lack her blessing, your soul is surprisingly dense.
Worry not. I seem to be unharmed. This is my own doing. the consequence of my recent exertions. It is the tower's way of compensating me for the demands I have placed on it. Rest assured, it is no great inconvenience at present. Indeed, I told Beck Lug as much, but they would not be persuaded and sent me away to rest. No need to make a fuss. Strange as it may sound, I consider it something of a badge of honor. One of the brave souls who saw me delivered unto the first once said that the world shall ever have a place for tales of heroism so long as we have need of inspiration in our lives. Though he and his fellows had no way of knowing whether their mad scheme would amount to anything, they knew that the attempt alone would inspire hope, or so they hoped. A more optimistic lot one would be hard-pressed to find. They said they would find a means to save our God's forsaken world, just as soon as they had sent me on my way. Said it with such confidence that, for a fleeting moment, I half believed them. Such faith, such courage in the face of unrelenting despair. For a long time, it was more than I could bear to remember them. But having come this far, having sent full many on their way myself, I see things more clearly. To take action is to hope. To believe, to choose to believe, is to take the first step towards a brighter future. And why do I tell you this? Because I want you to indulge me in a little recklessness. Needless to say, I have a plan. And when all is said and done, I will ask yet another favor of you.
Exarch and his favors.
Mm-hmm.
You're both here. Oh, thank goodness.
What's wrong?
It's Thancred. He's collapsed.
Bum bum bum. Though the timing of that's a little out of sync with your side.
Mm-hmm.
Say love you. Alright. The fates seem determined not to allow us a quiet moment. But come, let us have the details from Ryan. I have none of these. So I shall take pickled herring. Sounds delicious. Fraying threads. It happened after Alice and I saw the children back to Spagrix. Spagirix.
Spaggies.
Spags. We chanced to meet Thancred there, returning from his mission. He'd been shadowing Elidibus around the realm, only to lose sight of him near the Crystarium. And he was in the middle of telling us when he'd been, where he'd been, when he just crumpled to the ground. The Kyurgens are looking after him now, but with Alpha Node standing by, just in case his healing magics are needed. Since I couldn't do anything to help, I thought it best to find you, and the guard at the Exedra told me where to look. I see. It cannot have been easy leaving Thancred's side. My thanks for bearing word to us. Come, let us hurry to Spagrix. Jump! Land! Who's all but 1 HP. Run past the bunny with the dungeon quest.
Dungeon.
Ahoy, old man.
He's actually up. Okay.
Your turn.
Yeah. They dragged you here too, did they? My apologies. How do you feel? Embarrassed, but otherwise well enough. I won't be staying overnight. This episode was not the result of an injury I could find. Thancred's aether, however, did show signs of instability, and I did what I could to calm the fluctuations. And all this happened without warning? Not exactly. You will doubtless recall the time Arianje nearly drowned and I gallantly went to his rescue. When his water-walking charm failed, he was tired, as were you when you got back. We were both spent, yes, on account of which you begged us to rest, which, in retrospect, may have been a good idea. The fact is, I've been experiencing regular bouts of lightheadedness ever since, but there was no actual fainting until now. As Alphanot observed, I have no lingering injuries, and it most assuredly isn't old age, which leaves but one likely cause. The link between body and soul has weakened further. Time grows short, we must complete the spirit vessel with all haste. To that end, Kathina, might I trouble you to make a trip to the source? Your name here, sorry. In addition to looking in on our friends' bodies, I would have you consult Krill about our plan. If she has any concerns, we should at least endeavor to address them prior to proceeding. It's like the words are just blurring together. In the meantime, we should get back to laying bare Elidibus's plot. Thus far, I've learned this much, that in each of the places he visited, there have been sightings of suspicious black-clad strangers. Moreover, the coming of these shady individuals has invariably
Coincided.
Okay.
Yeah.
With some manner of misfortune, beasts terrorizing settlements, blight ravaging crops, you know the sort of thing. All of which serves rather conveniently to make Elidibus's call for new heroes reverberate that much more loudly in the hearts of his audience. And you think that these black-clad strangers are Asians? I do, and I fully intend to investigate further, though for that I shall require additional feet on the ground. You can count on mine. God knows I've been itching to get out there for a while. Mayhap Arianje too can be prevailed upon to join in our efforts. He had already provided copious guidance on the matter of the spirit vessel's construction. It is for Beklug and I to wrestle with the rest. Well, if you can spare the old boy, we may as well make use of him.
Yeah.
I'll go and give him a good news. You'll do no such thing, however heedless you are of your own well-being. If you care at all for Rim's feelings, you'll stay in bed until you're needed. Alphanot and I will find Arianje. All being well, we will have news to share by the time you return. Safe travels. Your name here.
However you want to present the name.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like I say, this will get easier the more we do it with the whole reading aloud thing. But
Yeah,
when was the last time either of us truly read anything aloud?
never. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't talk.
Decades, maybe?
Yeah.
Alright, well. Says to the Rising Stones, and that's a free teleport for me. So, stick around.
Okay.
Da-dunk. Da-da-da-donka. Da-da-da-donka. Zip zap zoop.
I hate it when my contacts just don't settle. So it's like the lines are just
It's all
blurring.
kind of fuzzy and yeah. I mean, technically you can work around that and put them in X many hours earlier, but
Yeah, I kind of got ready late. So it's like the little text is just blurring together, and I'm like,
well, we had a bit of a busy day, so. It's fine. Into the Rising Stones. Punt the Taru. Or the Tataru, as the case may be. Okay. I got this one.
okay.
Your name here. What excellent, I mean, awful timing. Huh? You see, our friends, they've taken a turn for the worse.
They're all dead.
Kryle's hardly had a moment's rest over these past few days. She didn't want everyone to worry, so we've been keeping it quiet. Oh, but listen to me. I call myself a receptionist, and I haven't even bothered to ask you why you're here. So they think the spirit vessel will be ready soon, and they want to make sure that there are no problems on this end. You better talk with Kryle. Or talk to Kryle. She's with the others in Dawn's Respite. Let's go and see her. Just prepare yourself, alright? Into the previously never openable door we go.
Excuse us.
Such deep darkness.
This way.
I love how all you see is just glowing red and orange on my character.
I would rather you hadn't seen this.
I'm sorry. We have urgent tidings.
No, I'm not angry with you. On the contrary. I know full well how hard everyone has been searching for a way to return home. And I had hoped to afford you the time you needed. But Given our friend's present state, perhaps it was for the best that you came. Stiff and cold, all of them. As if they were made of wax. Barely alive at all. And they had been doing so well. Save for occasional signs of etheric instability, they appeared to be in passable health. Then, quite without warning, things took a turn for the worse. A change for which even Master Matoya could offer no explanation. She could only remind me that the soul is yet an unknown frontier, and that much and more lies beyond our ken. But let's not lose heart just yet. At times like these, it is all the more important that we remain positive. Why? I but this moment succeeded in quelling a fluctuation in Thancred's ether. And while the others have weakened, they have remained relatively stable. I believe I may leave my post for a moment. So come, let me hear your tale outside.
I mean, fine. I don't think telling the tale in that room would actually, disturb anybody because nobody's there, but... I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're quite literally elsewhere. We're not going to be disturbing the patients.
It's cozy in there. Nice and dark.
Yeah, no, right? Zoomed.
One more.
Yeah, alright. Better? Okay. What news from the first? I see. Work on the spirit vessel proceeds apace, but our friends begin to falter. As they themselves have observed, the link between body and soul has weakened. It is simply as that. Or it's as simple as that. For now, I'm able to quell the fluctuations in their aether, but it's only a matter of time. We'll lose them if we don't act soon. So if the Exarch is ready to attempt something, let him attempt it. As for the spirit vessel itself, if we seek to draw upon Algan wisdom, we could do worse than consult an expert in the field. And I think I know just the man. Time being against us, it may be best if I go and solicit his aid in person, even if it does mean leaving my patients. Food for the soul. Stay there? Or your name here?
What?
Could you spare a moment? While Kral goes and finds this expert of hers, There's a gift I was hoping to send to our friends in the first. You see, and since we might be waiting a while, I wondered if you wouldn't mind giving me a hand with it? My first attempt turned out well, so now I'm making it properly. I'll be in the kitchen at the House of Splendors. Meet me there. I don't know if I really want to. Well, I better be off too. I shall see you soon, either here or at the house, depending on how our patients fare in my absence. Oh, that bodes well. Out into the toll we go. Speaking of the toll, do you think they'll ever return to working on it?
No.
It's been how long since any progress has been made on this area?
Mm-hmm. They're done.
Come on, guys, everybody working on this game. Why don't you make, the toll have some sort of a residential area? Even if it's just apartments. That would be beautiful.
No.
I mean, have you seen the towers? We could fit a lot of people in here.
That's true.
Just, there's space.
It's upstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah, I was
is.
trying to
It's this upstairs, and it's the first door. Well, not the first door. I guess the first door on the left.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. There you are, player. As I'm sure you've guessed, the gift is a bit of home cooking. Unlike Kryl, I can't do much to help our friends directly, but that doesn't mean I've been idle. No, I've been doing my best for the Order, taking on this job, and that to keep our coffers full. I've been helping out with the Ishgardian restoration. And in the course of all this, my culinary skills have come on quite a bit. So I thought, why not make something for our friends? It's baking in the oven even as we speak. Shouldn't be long now.
What is it?
Doom! There, baked to perfection, even if I do say so myself. Bread. You made sliced bread. It's bread.
Your cake looks like bread.
But not just any old bread. This here is old world bread. Archon loaf, to be precise. Oh, she's out of play. Simple fare, I admit, but I thought it would remind our friends of home. If nothing else, Kryl tells me it's a good source of aether. So it should lend them a bit of strength at least. Truly is nothing like the smell of bread fresh from the oven.
That's true.
Kryl! And if it isn't Rambaros, too. Oh, him. Oh! There's a face haven't really seen much of lately. I trust you require no introductions either, rather? Greetings, my friend. Full glad I am to see you well. I will speak stiffly, because I am a very stiff man. I confess I have a long list of questions to ask you, but I will endeavor to contain my curiosity for the present. I understand our mutual friend is struggling with the application of certain Allegan technologies. I have been keeping Rambro so appraised of events in the first. Suffice to say, he knows about the Exarch. If anyone alive can provide insight into the matter, it is him and his fellow sons. Loath as I am to disappoint you after so glowing an endorsement, memory transference was the sole province of Allegan royalty. Its mechanisms closely guarded secrets. If any record of them remains, we have yet to find it. To wit, I regret that I can offer no solution to your problem. Which begs the question of why I bothered to come here empty-handed as I am. The answer being, rather brazenly, to ask a favor. Of course you did. I would have you relay a message to our comrade. Go on. Tell him that we never doubted him. Never doubted that he would achieve all that he said he would. Those of us who remained behind have yet to play our part. But when the time comes, he may rest easy in the knowledge that we will most assuredly do so. and then the tower shall shine once more as a beacon of hope in this world and beyond. So tell him that we consider his duty done, and that we should follow his heart, or he should follow his heart now. Forgive me, but do you say this to discourage him overexerting himself, or to encourage him to hold nothing back? That is for our friend to decide, but either way, I dare say a certain someone will be unimpressed. Well, there you have it, player. I'm going with player. It's shorter, it's easier.
It's fine.
Would you prefer player name?
No.
Your name here, your player name, random individual, player one, whatever you want to call it.
No.
It's whatever they're, whatever Japanese placeholder they're using in the end, so. If you would be so good as to see Rambrose's message and Tataru's bread to their intended recipients, along with my report, of course. Nod. Kyle, before I wrap the bread up, would you mind giving it a try, just to make sure that everything is as it should be? But of course, I'm always happy to lend my taste buds. And then Kyle falls over dead from food poisoning. Excuse me, Rambrose, as a fellow Charlian, may I trouble you for your opinion? Well, I usually have mine with a good dollop of Rollenberry jam, but I suppose plain is best for sampling purposes. And then the entire loaf is gone between the two of them. Munch, munch. I see. Oh no, is it that bad? It is indeed, Tataru. Dense and unpleasant. Exactly as it should be. Just so. The very taste of home.
Wow.
As you might expect, our countrymen have amassed a wealth of culinary wisdom from every corner of the world. But our native cuisine is, shall we say, a little lacking. In Charlian, the majority regard food as a source of nourishment rather than enjoyment, save for those few who actually research the culinary arts. We pay little heed to the niceties of taste and texture. It was against such a gastronomic landscape that what is now called the Archon loaf was born. The creation of an Archon who devoted himself to the study of bodily sustenance. In order to maximize its nutritional value, he incorporated copious quantities of pulverized fish and vegetable matter into the dough. Oh my. All with nary a care for those qualities which make bread enjoyable. The result is a flavor that continues to defy description.
Oh, wow.
So, a certain purple stew of horribleness. Yeah. Yet, for its many shortcomings, the loaf's nutritional value cannot be denied. And being a damnably convenient way to cater to one's bodily needs, it quickly found an audience among busy scholars. Why, when I was a lad, nigh every meal was a sandwich made with this very bread, and whatever ingredients happened to be on hand. I suspect just about every Archon could say the same. Having been away from home so long, I thought I might have forgotten the taste, but no, it's all too familiar. Ah, how it takes me back. Don't think that's really a good thing.
No.
Yeah. If there is enough, perhaps you can spare some for the Exarch? He is certain to appreciate it. Oh, there's plenty to go around. I'll be sure to wrap up an extra slice. Your name here. When you deliver the loaf, please be sure to send everyone my regards. Tell them we're doing everything we can and that we'll be praying for their safe return until the moment that they get back.
I know, the bread. Look at it.
There's exactly the same amount of slices there as there were before.
They were pretending to eat it.
I counted. They're liars.
Yeah, they were pretending to eat it. Hello, by the way.
Okay, I guess we don't have to do anything but just go back to the ocular. So, Novembrand, Crystarium, go. I need a quick break.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some more.
So we are going to take just a few minutes, and we will be back shortly.
Yeah, this is 5-3, yes?
5-3.
Yeah.
Okay. We will be right back.
Yep.
And we are back. Is that wire in your way annoying you at all?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just noticing that.
Oh, yeah. It's fine.
What is that?
From the cam.
Oh, it's your webcam. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where am I?
I don't know. Where are you? Okay, so we are back and moving on.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, young dog? Why is your bed turned? Here.
Turned away.
There. There you go. Alright. Okay, so. Into the tower we go.
Crystarium.
So, for those of you now joining, you haven't missed much. Just small side plot stuff. The dog choking and gagging or whatever he's doing while coughing. If this is your first time watching, what's wrong with you? You've now missed many, many years of storyline.
Yep.
So, like what? Trying to remember when the A Realm Reborn got put out.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I know it's 10 years for the game itself, but that was for 1.0.
It's hard to believe it's been that long, really.
Okay, your turn, I guess.
Oh. Welcome back, my friend. How was your journey?
Here is some loaf.
Have some bread. Breadful. By the 12, Archon loaf. How did you come by this? I'd swear it had come straight from the Charlian. Rambros said that, did he? His words were very nearly as heavily as the bread, but I appreciate the sentiment. Should you have the chance, you may tell him that he needn't worry. That which I seek to do, I do for my own volition and with all my heart. In pursuing this path, I fully expect to earn the censure of our friends and to deserve it, but I shall forge on regardless. Forge on as you yourself did when faced with a similar predicament, so I ask that you have faith in me, in what we do. But we are talking about your journey. Before the others arrive, I would hear how their bodies fare. Oh, and the bread I shall save for later. Though it has been many years, I have not forgotten the feats of the mastication required to consume it, nor how unconductive they are to conversation.
Translation, wear out your jaw before you can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are dying.
Forgive the delay.
We have visited every region and confirmed the presence of Ascians throughout the realm.
Lest a grave predicament be made to seem hopeless, it should be noted that they are of inferior rank. The black-masked minions who answer to the red.
Yes, a gaggle of schemers attempting to exploit recent events to sow the seeds of petty conflict. Fortunately, nothing of any great concern has come of their meddling just yet.
We also encountered a number of the Crystarium's former defenders, busily solving this problem and that in a bid to become warriors of light.
Their zeal is to be applauded. It is but a pity I cannot encourage them on their course.
Not knowing Elidibus set them upon it, no. Both the troubles to be solved and the villains to be vanquished are his doing too, like as not. And so, With apologies to the aspiring warriors of light, I believe it best that we deal with the Ascians quickly and quietly.
I quite agree.
But tell us, what news from the source? How fare our bodies?
Forget your bodies. Let's go on the Ascian hunt. Oh yeah. Well, enough. Time is not on our side.
Indeed. Heartening though it is to know we can stay a while longer, returning home must remain our priority.
This seems an appropriate moment to ask about the spirit vessel. Have you made any progress?
We have, as it happens. One moment.
The red stones. Then this doth mean...
For the benefit of all, permit us to explain. As you will recall, using white auracite as our starting point, we fashioned a vessel for mind and memory both. Yet, though it served this purpose admirably, the process of imbuing it with one's complete essence proved a somewhat thornier proposition.
So it's just a little crystallized blood. Come on.
The memory would not accompany the mind, and so we looked to the Allegan's mastery of memory transference for a solution.
This approach was not without its own complications, however, relying as it does upon blood, which inanimate objects notably do not possess. We duly explored methods of suffusing the vessel with drops of the aforementioned. Alas, our painstaking experimentation succeeded only in making me feel faint, and singularly failed to imbue the crystal with the necessary properties. It was then that an idea occurred to me, namely that we might fuse the vessel not with normal blood, but with my crystallized essence.
Define essence.
You're doing this for our sakes. So far be it from us to complain. But don't think we haven't noticed what's happening to your arm.
It falls well short of offering up my life in exchange for yours, which was your only stipulated prohibition, as I recall. And it is but a small price to pay for delivering you home.
Assuming it works. We shall soon know if this grisly addition will
Big
serve as a
if.
suitable conduit for the subject's memory. Though not soon enough to warrant your waiting. The test is like to take a while.
Let us be off then. We have Ascians to attend to, among other things.
Forgive me, but I count 6 vessels, and there are only 5 of us.
One is for testing purposes. I will personally use it to see whether the crystal functions as it should.
And if it does, wouldn't that mean that your soul could also return to the source?
Yes. In theory, at least. But there is a distinct difference between your circumstances and mine. While your corporeal forms want for souls, my past self does not. Mayhap our essences would blend, or mayhap they would curdle. There is no telling what might occur.
And you'd be willing to take that risk?
I would.
I see.
He's an old man. He can do what he wants. His timeline's different from the rest of theirs.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, mouthful of wine.
Yeah, I figured.
Hast thou a moment, Cathena? Or your name?
You
I would
individual
speak
over
with
there.
thee on the matter of Exarch's mooted return upon the source. Thou will have observed that our friend spake not in certainties, yet if Beclug hath the right of it, it's possible to predict the outcome of his plan with some confidence. And it is their assessment that, given the opportunity, the Exarch's soul should successfully merge with that of his younger self. Which is not to say the process is without complications. For one, the Exarch hath been subjected to an additional rejoining, an experience which will have wrought a change in his ethereal composition. As thou thyself didst
Yeah.
demonstrate in merging with Ardbert, however, there existeth an affinity twixt like souls and... Sorry, I can't read.
He's horrible to
told you.
read. You want me to do Oriange, no matter what?
And this doth give us cause to hope.
I can do Oriange, because I speak such verbiage.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
So, okay, when it's your time, if there is an Oriange bit, I will read it. Okay?
Why don't you just read all the things, because I can't fucking see.
No, it's a back and forth. But I'll take care of Oriange. What?
Nothing, I just can't see right now. It's blending together.
Okay. As thou thyself didst demonstrate merging with Ardbert, however, there existeth an affinity twixt like souls, and this doth give us the chance for hope, or cause for hope. Yet there remaineth one immutable condition upon which success doth hinge. The Exarch must needs recognize his past self as simply that, himself. As our recent travails have demonstrated, memories are essential to the soul. Any discrepancy in the former may feasibly cause the latter to spurn its former flesh. 'Tis a seemingly simple yet complex problem. For nigh on a century, our friend hath striven only to deliver this realm, to deliver thee. And to that singular end did he cast aside his very name, that he might assume the mantle of the Crystal Exarch. Henceforth, none can say what choices our friend will make, and I thought it only right that thou be made aware of these truths. Is it really that bad? Okay. Right then. Well, the Exarch literally pours himself, or pours his... Lost it due to timing. Dealing with Elidibus and his minions. Just so. And there is one other matter. In light of our deteriorating health, Y'shtola should not be left alone at Ainder. Anteater. Should not be left alone at Anteater. Might I trouble you to visit her? See that all is well? I would go myself, but I think she might be safer in the hands of one less prone to collapsing. Punch, punch. My thanks. You may leave the Asians to us. But I want to go on an Asian hunt! Why can't I hunt? Once they're out of the way, we will retire to Yulmore. And when Y'shtola has finished plumping the depths, plumbing the depths, I'd like the two of you to join us there. If you're bound for Anidar, I suggest that you go via Venmont Yards. Our friends there will be glad to provide a boat for you. Yeah, but how do I get down then? I mean, going out's one thing, but going down...
By plumping.
I deserve that. Let us be on our way then. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. What wouldn't you do, Thancred? Wait, I have a gift for you from Tataru. I'm not gonna hit the Kapoo one. Not on your life. From Tataru, you say? Whatever could it be? Archon loaf, thou sayest. Why, even to hear the name doth transport me to times long past. Bread from another world? May I try some? Mayest thou, child? Thou must. That said, though I personally disagree with the consensus, I do nonetheless advise thee to temper thine expectations. Wiser words have never been uttered. Huh? That's the way I interpret that look, anyway. Though it rarely darkened our dining table at home, I can attest that it was standard fare at the studium.
Or that is stadium.
Yeah, I know. It's the studium. Indeed, a slice was never far from our peers' hands. Alphanode, you really are an unbearable snob sometimes. Do you know that? And what does that make you, Alice? Just honestly. What I believe my colleagues are trying to say is that we appreciate the gesture. Tell Tataru we'll do our best to return before she's forced to seek further supplementary employment. Right. Let's really be off now. We can find a drink to wash down the bread on the way. At least they know what the bread is, and it's not going to be, you know, a surprise of horribleness. Sounds kind of like my first loaf. That one was a bit, rocky, to say the least.
Flavors were good, so I don't know. At least it had flavor.
Must needs indeed. Alright, well, where is the Venmont Yards? Okay, it's just outside of right. Should have expected that.
Yeah, I really need to put my contacts in early, I think.
And maybe eye drops as well on top of that, just to clear everything. That's fine. Eventually we'll be in the habit of reading aloud. It'll be easier.
I never will, but okay.
Well, I mean, if we're going to be doing this,
yeah,
we need to do it. Because not everything is...
Can't they just read it?
I mean, yeah, I guess technically we could leave it to a viewer's reading abilities, but...
Yeah.
Think about what others in our position do.
Think of the children.
For the children. Oh wait, now we're in a completely different IP.
Yeah. Ohio. If it isn't... Sorry.
I'm sorry, that one... I applaud that one. So by those standards, should it be Cincinnati if it...
Mm-hmm.
Kill me. If it ain't the warrior of darkness himself, what brings you to these parts? Heading out to sea, eh? But of course, we'd be happy to help. Just say the word and I'll ready a boat.
Already a loaf.
Do it. Just get me out there.
I could just keep reading wrong words and then just not stopping. And people would be like, wait, what?
I mean, that's certainly a thing to do. Oh, wait. I think this is going to be a talkie. Yeah, it is. She's collapsed!
Excellent. I had intended to speak with you alone. None of my doing, lest you misunderstand. The link between her body and soul wavers. I know not what you hoped to find here, but it will avail you naught to learn of our past.
Reviewing the records yet again? Really? You worry too much, Elidibus. This dedication to your duty verges on obscene. Or obsession.
Yeah, obscene works.
To think some thought you ill-suited to the role, how wrong they were. But come, turn your gaze outside the window, my friend. The rains have ceased, and we have been graced with another beautiful day.
It fades. Fades away into oblivion. Does the world no longer have need of me? No. I am Elidibus, and I will fulfill my duty. Sundered though you may be, you fought for the world's salvation. For hope. Hope. It swells within me, empowers me. Now I may carry out my mission. And yet, why do I yearn for this? Why do I struggle so?
So more and more they're drawing this direct connection to the very first Final Fantasy game in this world.
I shall take her into my safekeeping. If you want her back, you will do as I ask.
So now he has a hostage.
Show me your strength. I would take your measure. I have prepared a suitable arena. You need but ride the flow of ether.
Solo fight?
I guess.
Let's see what happens. Level sync is in effect if you're above. Yep. You may not be in a party, so I shall disband. We may continue. For those watching, She'll probably be faster because she's a damage dealer. I'll be slower because I'm a tank.
No, I'll die a couple times, like last time.
We'll see.
Don't worry.
If you wish to watch both perspectives, we do have a multi up. Just type exclamation multi to get the link.
So you can watch and complete it first, and then I'll die a couple times.
You are familiar with this place, I believe. This remembered Amarat. Proceed to the capital. I shall return your comrade to you there. Enough of this!
What?
You speak as if you were disappointed in me. Why? I'm your enemy and you mine. Our goals are in conflict and we are fated to clash. Or had you hoped that feigned sympathy and false understanding would cast your crimes in a less reprehensible light? That I would come to look upon you as a friend? You who have slaughtered my people, who would tear down everything we have built. You do not deny it, then. Very well. Let us change the cast of this trial. You will know what you have stolen from us. The innkeepers. Huh. But do not imagine I crave remorse, only justice. Elizabeth seems a bit, irked.
Only a little.
Echoing music.
Mm-hmm.
Forward, hero. We shall see how strong you have become. Are these interactable? My gods, they're tiny at these desks. Ho! Mole! Teeny tiny people. Yeah, I get it. We're not a whole, so we're smaller. Alright then. Let us begin. Rest assured there's no tricks. You need but defeat the enemies before you. Okay. First, something easy, budding hero encountered. Oh gods, first form versions of them.
Aww.
Pull out a steam here and then go to town. Alright, now what? Oh, you've got a quest for me, huh? All too easy, I see, but at least you now understand the rules, thus we'll make our way to the capital. That was in poor taste even for you. Appearances should unsettle you, so I was under the impression you simply destroyed all who barred your way. Sparing nary a thought for the possibility that your foe could be someone's beloved. Such low blows.
Mm-hmm.
They really set this up to be a true mindfuck, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Forgot that's such a knockback. But it's over anyway, so. Go down, guys. Just go down.
Oh.
Well, that's an interesting scene. All of the lieutenants now. Interesting. Okay. I'll give them credit. They've planned out this interestingly. Would I call it the most devastating mindfuck ever? Probably not, but they're certainly doing their work. Yes, yes, yes. It seems it will take more than those monsters to leave an impression upon you, or mayhap you simply fail to understand my meaning. Not that it matters. No, I have dealt with countless heroes, and always it ends the same way. No amount of reasoning will bridge our differences, will result in happiness for all. Whatever your reasons may be, I cannot be bound by them. I can but put faith in my own beliefs and fight for them with all my being. No intention of compromise. Where did the steam go? Oh. I lost sight of the steam. I didn't realize he was in King Thoradin's feet.
Oh. Oops.
So I thought steam had just vanished on me. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Sorry, you have Bahamut and Phoenix. I have a steam.
That's alright.
Though mine doesn't stick around as long as yours. Quite the interesting group of models they chose for the enemies for this.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we have... Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Which way was it to the capital? Oh, up this way. Oh, it's a straight line, doy. Yeah, nice heart. What's its face? Oh, okay, Nidhogg time. Yeah. Of course, Nidhogg's a bit tougher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just as I pull out a steam, you bastard. It sucks because the steam's gonna fade before I get a hit off with it. There we go. Okay, I got a couple hits. Not as many as I would have liked, but... How goes it on your side?
Good. For now. You can't go that way.
How are you enjoying the walk down memory lane? I dare say there will have been a few individuals for whom you harbor deep feelings, whose passing caused you keenest grief. That is what our people are to us, an irreplaceable existence that can ill be lost, and I will save them, for they are my... Never mind. We are not here to talk. Let us return to the task at hand. Following trail of ashes set forth by Amigo, Doma. Huh. Yours is unnatural beastly strength, and we shall lay it bare. Will you, though? I mean, will you? Not exactly sure what Elizabeth's point is with these memories. I mean, are these actions any different from the actions of the Ascians in their own way?
Yeah. Okay, that's one. I see. I see.
Shall have to test you myself. Like I said, I mean, you're going to be much faster with this. Just because you're a damage dealer and I'm a tank.
Like I said, I would probably die, so.
Fallen Warrior Ardbert. I mean, it's not Ardbert in any way except for the shape of the features. That's it. Alright, well, let's do this.
Oh, nothing. I got caught in something. That's all.
You got caught.
Eh.
Cut that out.
Phoenix is healing me.
At least there's that.
Yeah.
Some of us aren't so lucky. Actions.
You have grown stronger since last we fought. The result of your trials in the first, no doubt.
Have you finished? My apologies. I freed myself as soon as I awoke. But rather too late, I see. Now, Elidibus, if you have ceased trading blows, I would trade words with you. I have a theory, you see. One concerning that which you seek to accomplish. It stems from who, or rather what, you truly are. A primal. The ancients created Zodiac to deliver the star from destruction. If the magic that brought him forth is the precursor of what we know as summoning, then Zodiac would have been instilled with a presiding desire. I found it among the records at Anida, and it came as no surprise. Were I faced with the world's destruction, I too would wish for the same. Salvation. I know that you sacrificed yourself to become Zodiac's heart. How you came to be separated from him is less clear. But if you are a fragment of his being, it stands to reason a desire for the world's salvation would drive you. And thus did you seek to inspire the masses to rise up as warriors of light, going so far as to use Ardbert as a symbol of hope.
Correct on all counts. Such is my nature, and such are my methods. I have aided heroes. I have made them. I have even become them. This served not only to strengthen me, but also to facilitate the work of my brothers, such as Emmett Selk, with his penchant for nation building.
Sorry, I'm behind you.
You're fine.
Am I though?
You will be all too familiar with the fickleness of mankind. We change, we forget, and what little we do remember becomes twisted and fragmented over time. For which reason, you deem us unfit to carry on your legacy. But are you yourself free of these foibles? As the last witness of the final days, do you remember everything that was lost? Or even the things you cared about?
Get to the point.
A primal is shaped by the hope that fuels it. Even should this hope be something as simple as the world's salvation, it is the collective desire of innumerable disparate souls crying out for deliverance. Having drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices, can you truly be sure you still speak with your own?
Your question is irrelevant. No matter how much I should change, no matter how much I should forget, I shall ever remember my duty. At times I stand with my brethren. At times I stand against them. All that I might steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. For Elidibus is my name. And my mission, guiding my every deed. But enough talk. You have shown me sufficient proof of your might. As I am now, I would struggle to defeat you. Yet I have still to play all of my cards. If I could offer you some semblance of sport, your lessers would pose no threat to me. Would you not agree, warrior of darkness?
So Elidibus is just broken.
Yep.
Alright. It has been an eventful morning, if indeed it is morning. I have no idea how long I was unconscious. Regardless, I'm gratified to see that my efforts in any there have borne fruit. We have confirmed the nature of our foe and his plot. Now then, what news from the surface? I see. Then let us make for Yulmore at once. We have much to share with our comrades. Elidibus's parting threat, not least of all. Ah, but forgive me. It would seem my belongings did not accompany me here. I will need to retrieve them from Andir. With luck, the ethereal stream you traverse still lingers. I won't be long. So she says. That's quite the job stone. A peculiar crystal lies on the floor. Upon its surface, an array of lights twinkle like a tiny constellation of stars. Day forth, bring honor to the seat of... The distorted voice of an ancient rings out in your mind. A moment preserved in the crystal, it would seem. It just happens to be lying there now.
Mm-hmm.
You notice something else glinting up ahead.
More things.
Big bad things.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
I see you.
Constellation crystals. Let's get them.
Okay.
3 of them at once. That's not suspicious. Where were these before? You find 3 more crystals lying on the floor. Though they differ in color and decoration, each is identical in shape. You focus on the crystals and find that the words they hold ring clearer than before. Behold, my friends. Embraced by the earth and caressed by the wind, vibrant life flourishes. All is right in creation. There can be no greater joy than to use our wisdom for the good of our people, no greater pride. May all know happiness, now and forevermore. I'm suspicious of these crystals. They talk of happiness, but really. There do not appear to be any more crystals in the hall. Perhaps it would be wise to continue the search outside. Wise or foolhardy?
More crystals.
Being led into some sort of a trap which gets you killed, that's not so good.
More shinies.
Now, I know that you have an appreciation for corvids, but,
You don't like shinies?
not to the extent of you and blackbirds.
No. Ooh, a piece of candy.
And that would be a reason not to trust it. 2 more. Your instincts serve you true, and you discover another 2 crystals. As you reach out with your consciousness, new voices begin to echo in your mind. The heavens are ablaze and the land rent asunder. What will become of the world if its life itself to be denied? Come what may, we must not surrender to despair. If we but hold fast to hope, we may yet find a path to salvation. What pocket am I shoving these into? The voices tell an incomplete tale. Might more remain to be found. Well, how many constellations are there on this world? Do you remember?
Major ones?
Yeah.
I thought it was 12.
Was it 12? One for each of the gods?
Yeah.
Or aspects of the gods?
Yeah.
Okay. You soon discover 2 more crystals, rather too soon, in fact, as if someone wanted you to find them. Everything burns, crumbles, decays. I hear the lamentations of my brethren, and soon there will be only silence. We will deliver our star from its doom, this we swear, so please dry your tears. How many people were on the board, as it were, the convocation? Did they ever tell us how many seats there were? Are they trying to draw a parallel between the number of major gods as well as the number of members of the convocation?
Possibly.
Three more. Sure enough, your persistence is swiftly rewarded, this time with 3 crystals. The time has come. We shall rewrite the laws of creation, and we shall save our star. From this life, our Savior born, may I be worthy of the honor. I feel my soul turning, slowly but irrevocably, and the power I wield begins to seem terrible. But this is right. This is right. So is the colorless one meant to represent Elidibus? The tale of the crystals weave seems to near its end, but it isn't over yet. Hello down there. Ahoy. With almost melancholy inevitability, the 12th crystal soon reveals itself to your questing eye. Though salvation is ours, it comes at great sacrifice. All that remains is to pray. To pray that we will one day meet again beneath a blue sky. Judging by its testimony, it would seem the voice was recorded in the wake of the final days. You scan the area. Another glint catches your eye. Gone is the brilliant radiance of life, replaced by the sickly glow of malformed creatures. Is this to be how it ends, for we who loved the star with all our being? No, I will not suffer it to be so. Well, well, we meet again, my new old friend. Hythlodius? How good of you to remember. See, you have been collecting stars. I speak of those crystals. They have constellations etched upon them, yes? High in the heavens, those stars shine, their guiding lights down upon our lives below. Fitting symbols for the convocation of 14, would you not agree? As you will have gathered, each crystal bears the account of the life of a member of the convocation as remembered by the unsundered. Lest you worry, they aren't concepts. They are far too incomplete to be so, but they suffice for imbuing memories within sundered souls, that they might be restored to their office. Keep them. I am sure Emmett Selch wouldn't mind. So how fare you of late? You are feuding with Elidibus this time, I believe. I shall refrain from passing comment on your struggle. It is not my place to do so, long departed as I am. It's always nice to have a very self-aware spirit around, you know? But if I may give voice to a personal desire, I would rather you lived. If you do not, how will you keep your promise to Emmett Selk? The promise to remember. How do you know about the promise? It must weigh heavy, the burden of all those memories. To one who has lived a life such as yours, I can well imagine how Elidibus's existence might seem hollow, how empty his single-minded pursuit of half-forgotten cause must appear. But know that his devotion is not without reason, even if he himself can no longer remember what that reason is. Well, that is quite enough talk about Elidibus. I would see if you can reunite the wayward stars. I mentioned before that there was a member of the Convocation who opposed Zodiark's summoning and defected, one whose office was left vacant. The 14th. Defectors have been deemed unworthy of commemoration. No crystal exists for the individual in question. Or shouldn't exist at any rate. And wouldn't had a friend not created one in secret. A crystal bearing the forgotten name of his office, along with the magic of his own conceiving. A singular incantation embodying his spirit. Among all the offices, the 14th was most unusual. For while the rest sat in Amarat, its holder was charged with gaining an intimate knowledge of the wider world. In the course of his duty, he traveled the length and breadth of every land, and befriended countless folk.
Different genders in the... Never mind.
Yeah, the she before. But I'm kind of curious, is...
No, yours says he, mine says her.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. That's a good thing to make
like,
note of. Yeah, if they're changing the genders between what you're seeing and what I'm seeing, then they actually are. Yeah, they're continuing to make it out as you are the one that they're referencing, which confuses me. You might want to pause for this. Which it confuses me because in the earlier conversation, sitting on the bench, my character was referred to she.
Maybe mine was he too, and I don't remember, but...
Maybe the genders got switched? Yeah, it's something of note to, you know...
Yeah, I don't remember the gender for the bench, so...
Yeah, it was distinctly, the position was she, as I remember it. So I don't know if that was a glitch or what was going on with that, but, you know, that's a thing that's out there. So in this case, yeah, if mine is he and yours is she, then yeah, they are absolutely talking about our character, the convocation member that we came from.
Okay.
So he encountered troubles too, of course, matters which he could simply have referred to the convocation, but that was not his way. Nay, more often than not, he would call upon his comrades and together resolve matters themselves. Such is the magic sealed within the crystal, the magic to summon the stars to your side. In time of greatest need, should you wish upon it with all your heart, it will surely answer your call. And now, it is where it belongs. And there is no need for thanks, but nor will I hear any complaints about it either. After all, I cannot say whether I act of my own volition or by the will of my Recreator. But the Recreator was Emmett Sect, and Emmett Sect is gone, so... It does beg the question how the Recreation still exists without him there.
I was wondering where you'd disappeared to. Is something troubling you?
How long you got?
No? Very well. I have everything. Let's hurry back to the surface.
Keep your secrets.
Surely with her ability to see into us, she knows something is up, but we'll leave it at that, apparently.
She knows already. She knows everything. Mm-hmm.
Fresh air at long last. I would celebrate my return to dry land with a pot of tea, had we the luxury of time. But we must be prepared for Elidibus, given what we know. It is plain he will not be deterred from his course. And nor would I, were I him. Not if it meant forsaking everything I loved. That said, I have not forgotten how Emmett Selk sought to find common ground with us for all our misgivings. Ultimately, our differences were not to be bridged, of course, but one must always try. Emmett Selk understood this, and if his gesture resonated with you, perhaps you might consider reaching out to his brethren. Though it may all be for naught, you of all people should know that there's no such thing as a foregone conclusion. Nope. 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 Oh yeah. Right. No more musing. We have taken far too long as it is. Our friends await us in Yulmore. Yes? Let us hurry and join them. That being said, looking at the time, I wonder... No, we are only halfway through these. And we have both a dungeon and a fight following this. So I would say that this is going to conclude our episode of the Witchery for today. If you have enjoyed what you've seen, please be sure to give a follow to our various channels. We broadcast here on our main channel of Damon Broadcasting, but also on our personal channels as spelled by our names. You can, obviously, if you've been watching her side of the streams, you're already on her channel. Mine, I'm doing more stuff with that slowly. Our next episode will be on Wednesday. This will either be a continuation of our raft playthrough, the second half here of 5.3, or the start of a Silent Hill playthrough starting with the PlayStation 1 game by Kathina. Official word of that, I guess that hasn't been fully decided yet. We really need to start planning better in advance for these things so we can actually make announcements. But I can assure that the start of the Silent Hill playthroughs will either be on Wednesday or on Friday. Yes. One of the two. So, Yep, please give us a follow. We are both working for affiliate on all 3 of our channels. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.
Bye.